This is KC Tunes and Brews. Local beer, local coffee, and local music. From the City of Fountains, I'm your host, Adam Bartling. All right, this is KC Tunes and Brews, and we are here at the Big Rip Brewing Company in North Kansas City, and it was quite a drive out here. I always choose the worst times, I think, for setting up these type of deals, because I'm like hitting rush hour, and it's like you got 5 seconds to merge over to the... But anyway, we're here. We're on time. I'm with Bri Burrows.
Hello.
And you are the Head Brewer.
Head Brewer, yes. That's correct.
And you have been so for 2 years.
I've been here for 2 years. Started out bartending almost exactly 2 years ago. Because I started right after Halloween 2 years ago. Just bartending Sundays, doing events, picking up shifts. And then I helped brew one beer with the assistant brewer last year. And then once the assistant brewer left, which was about a year ago now, maybe like 11 months ago, I offered to step in the back and learn some stuff, and they started training me, and I became assistant brewer. And then back in I want to say March or so, I have no idea exactly when, but I became brewer. So
that was probably pretty exciting.
Yeah.
When
it
you
was pretty fun.
Finally stepped in there. And you said after Halloween 2 years ago?
Yep.
So you're about at the 2-year anniversary mark to the day then.
Yeah. It was, I don't remember the exact date I started here, but I know that it was right after Halloween when I started.
Cool. So yeah, speaking of Halloween, you guys just are cleaning up today.
Yes.
And it probably was a mess. So you had the Halloween party, what was it, Saturday night?
Yeah, I think we mopped 3 times so far, and it still looks kind of crappy.
Pretty packed in here.
Yeah, we sold out. We sell out every year, but this year we sold out super fast. It was crazy.
That's awesome.
I mean, it's all you can drink, so
how does that work? You get a ticket, and then you can kind of just go the whole night?
Yeah, you get a ticket. You come in at 7. We close at midnight, and you just drink.
That's awesome.
All night.
I'm sure there's a lot of photos and stuff up on your guys' social media stuff, right?
I don't know if we've posted any yet. I know we took several, a lot, but
I'm sure
I think everyone's still kind of recovering from 2 days ago.
I'm sure, yeah. The photos will come out in 3 days once everyone's able to
be like,
move
this
again
happened.
and find their phone,
Yeah.
It could be possible that they're still looking for their phone after such a night. So,
yeah, well, our event manager, Bri, actually had to come in yesterday to search for her phone because she lost it.
I figured.
Yep.
You have a good night when you're looking for the phone the next day.
Yep.
Now it's when you can't find your car is when it's like a really good night.
Really good night.
I've been there before. So yeah. Well, it looks like you sold out, but as far as tickets, but you did not sell out of beer. I noticed on the website it talks about we're not limitless, but we definitely are changing out the taps a lot, right? So
yeah, we do 4-barrel batches. I try to never really do 2 in a row. Like we have a few different IPAs on tap. Right now we have 2 different IPAs, and when one taps, I'm not going to brew the same IPA again. I'm going to
change it up a little bit.
Change it up so that way it kind of rotates through some of the IPAs.
Yeah.
I don't want to do the same IPA nonstop,
Definitely. And there's a lot of, it seems like when I started drinking IPA was, I don't know, probably 5 or 6 years ago. You know, when I first finally made the jump into craft beer from drinking domestic beer only. And I was like, man, IPA is good. But now I just noticed there's so many different variations of IPA that's out there.
Oh, yeah.
And I can't even keep up with, and it just kind of saturated, I think, almost in a way.
Yeah, it's definitely difficult, and it is nice to have at least 2 IPAs on at a time, which I try to do, but it's not always possible because sometimes you go a month and you're selling IPAs like crazy, and then 1 month you could barely sell any. And it just kind of depends on the demand,
Depends on the demand. Does the season matter as well, do you think, a little bit with IPA?
A little bit. I think people tend to gravitate more towards an Imperial IPA in the wintertime because it's more boozy. It's going to warm them up a lot more. And then lean more towards like a session IPA or a hazy IPA during the summertime.
In the summer, yeah. A little more refreshing.
Yep,
yeah.
for sure.
So speaking of that, I did kind of make a script, and I always say I'm going to do this, but I get off topic because it starts getting fun, and it's like,
for sure,
yeah. But let's talk about what is on tap. We got a line, we got a flight tray
got a
here.
flight here.
A lot of these I notice are named after movies, horror movies, stuff like that.
Yeah. All of our beers are named after a horror movie or something in a horror movie or a line in a horror movie. Like you've got the aisle 12 poster behind you, and that's, Evil Dead, where it's like the aisle where the boomsticks are located in the S-Mart store. So.
Yeah. And we got Pennywise here.
Yeah, Pennywise is the first one here. Right? Yeah, it's a Sweet Tater Ale.
That's the new one. That's the seasonal Halloween.
Yes. Yeah, we do that one. Release it every year for a Halloween party. Pennywise is obviously the clown in it.
Right. That's good. You can definitely taste the sweet potatoes.
Yeah. We use 100 pounds in the mash, which is 25 pounds more than usual. Like we usually do 75, and we did 100 this year. Got some pumpkin spice in it, cinnamon, vanilla.
I want to say that obviously I'm a huge beer fan, but as far as like when it comes to judging or if someone was asking me to describe the flavor of the beer, I can't do it very well because I'm new at this, but I can taste the sweet potato. But how would you describe the beer?
This one's pretty much kind of self-explanatory. So it's, kind of like pumpkin beers. Instead of doing a pumpkin beer, we do a sweet potato beer, sweet potato pie, cinnamon, nutmeg, cloves, vanilla. It's got that starchiness kind of from all the sweet potatoes in there.
Definitely tell that. I saw your post when you were doing the sweet potato, throwing it in the mash. I just started all grain brewing at home, and I was like, wow, I had no idea you could actually do something like that. Obviously you can, but it gave me the idea, and I'm going to go buy a pumpkin this week, and I'm going to try doing a pumpkin.
Cool. Yeah, a lot of people with the pumpkin, they do either the cans of pumpkin pie mix, or get a one of the little pie pumpkins like this one.
Right.
It's a pie pumpkin. So you bake it, make sure it's all squishy, kind of like, we roasted all the sweet potatoes to make sure they were kind of caramelized and everything beforehand, so that way it actually mixes into the mash better.
I was going to say, if it's not totally roasted and squishy, it's going to probably...
Yeah, it probably won't really do much. Like, just kind of throw it in there. There's, just kind of like any other vegetable, like squash sort of vegetable. They all kind of taste like crap if you don't cook it first.
Exactly. I agree. Yep. So it's kind of just going to be a fun project, I think, and we'll see how it turns out.
For sure, yeah. I've seen homebrewers like hollow out a carving pumpkin and then like turn it into its own little jockey box and
I've seen
and like fill it up with beer and then pour out of it.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's crazy.
The tap on the pumpkin. I've seen that before. It's really, I don't know how. Yeah, that's a lot of work.
It is.
Yeah, that'd be cool though. So we move on. Let's just go through the flight real quick.
Okay.
Just so we can kind of talk about your beers.
What's next?
Next
Okay.
it says, and I wrote these
Exotic
down.
Aquatic?
Oh yeah, this is the collab with Casual Animal, right?
That's right. Yep.
So, and I talked about in my very first episode how I just kind of walked KC and I came and I found the nearest brewery on my maps when I was going was Casual. When I was walking was Casual Animal. So I kind of went in there and I had a hazy IPA or something like that.
I love their hazy IPA.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It's really good. I drink that all the time. But yeah, we did this. I know Kyle, the owner from here. He brewed here for a couple years while he was a home brewer, and then he, went to brew school and actually got his certificate and everything.
Really?
And opened up Casual Animal, and then so I approached him. I'm like, hey, let's make a beer since, we kind of know each other already. And so we went for style of beer and ingredients that neither of us have used before.
Really?
So minus the grain. So standard kind of like IPA, grain bill, pale malt stuff. But then we went for a tropical IPA.
So, okay.
We used the tropical yeast from Omega, and then the hops we did Huel Melon and Zythos, and it's all post boil. So like we didn't put any in the boil.
Oh, really? It was all dry hop.
Yeah, post boil like in the whirlpool, and then dry hopped with like 13 more pounds of the Huel Melon.
Now you guys use, I know in the home brewer world, and I'm very new to it, but I always use pellets. So I don't know if it's a dumb question to ask you in microbrewery, microbrew environment. Is it? Do you guys use pellets
Yes.
a lot?
Mostly pellets, so T90 pellets, which are the standard pellets that most people use.
Cool.
And then dry hopping, a lot of brewers use cryo hops, which I have some of here now, but I haven't used them yet. It's just really good, especially for like hazy IPAs that are incredibly heavy dry hopped.
Yeah. Comes in like a pouch, right? And it's like just the leaves.
Yeah,
kind of drop
so it's they're still pellets, but
they're pellets.
They're cryogenically frozen, and then the essential oils are frozen out of it. So that way it's like twice as strong as a regular T90 hop pellet. So essentially you use half the amount of a cryo hop in dry hopping as you would a regular hop pellet, which is going to end up with a greater yield of beer all around,
Okay, yeah.
So you don't have as many hops soaking up the beer.
Yeah, okay, interesting. Yeah, that was my first introduction to dry hopping in the recipe. They sent it those type of hops with it, and then that's when I kind of learned about dry hopping.
Yeah, most use dry hopping or pellets. Definitely cryo hops.
Okay.
If you plan on doing a heavily hopped like hazy IPA, the cryo hops aren't great for bittering. There's almost no bittering chemicals, oils in the cryo hops because they extract them all out. But they suggest, you use a tiny bit of T90 for bittering, and then depending on how juicy you want it versus bitter, then lean more towards cryo hops.
So you have all these memorized now? All these hops, when you think of a recipe?
No, definitely not. Not even.
What's your resource? There's probably multiple ones, right? I'm just kind of curious.
Yeah, I kind of, like when me and Kyle were doing this brew, we just went to, I think we used Yakima Chief hops, and we just went to their website and looked through their entire list of hops and read descriptions and everything. They've got everything listed there, like alpha and beta acids, like percentages of everything, bittering, if it's a bittering or aroma hop, what it tastes like and everything. So,
and you just choose from that, from those type of characteristics.
Yeah, typically choose from that, and then, same thing with mixing hops. You want to make sure, you're kind of mixing the right two hops together.
Right, make sure that they're going to blend to make it a good, someone's knocking on the door. But it is Monday, folks, at the Big Rip. They're closed, and I just found that out 2 hours ago as well.
Yeah.
I don't know why I didn't know that, but still, we're still here, which is actually better because it's so quiet in here. It's very intimate.
Yes,
so
it is quiet. It's weird sometimes being here by myself during the day because I'll hear stuff, and I'm like, what's that?
Yeah, and then you guys got these creepy, the Sorry We Are Dead doll back there.
Got dead dolls and
that'd be tough.
Weird stuff everywhere.
It's a big warehouse kind of place. Yeah, I'd be creeped out. Actually, when I looked through the window looking for you, I saw that, and I was like, kind of creeped out by it a little bit. So, all right. Well, anyway, let's move on to, was it Eddie's Vanilla?
Zelda's.
Or Zelda. Yeah, Zelda. My handwriting is terrible.
Oh, so wait, real quick. So Exotic Aquatic, we kind of went for, if you look at the logo for it, it's a piranha. So we kind of played on the piranha movie.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
For it,
okay.
So.
I meant to ask you that, so I'm glad you touched on it.
Yeah. So,
very good, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Like it a
I
lot.
appreciate it. Yeah, I think it's nice and refreshing. It's not super hoppy. It's got a light, easy drinking flavor to it. So
that one's almost gone for me already. So that's the problem with IPA for me, is they just go down super smooth.
For sure.
Some people hate them, but
Yeah.
it's either a love-hate thing with IPA, I think.
That's their problem.
That's what I think. Like, give it to me, more for me. So, okay.
All right.
Zelda's Vanilla.
Zelda's Vanilla Cream Ale. So Zelda it's named after the ant in Pet Sematary.
Okay.
Yeah. And I always describe this one as a cream soda.
It does taste like a cream soda. And for some reason, after you mentioned the ant, it has to be named after an ant, just the way the flavor just seems.
Yeah.
Who comes up with the names?
It depends. Like it could be anyone. Like Kyle named the exotic aquatic. I recommended the piranha theme. Yeah, it really depends. Like you
guys have meetings?
If I have a good name, we kind of just all have a big group message and we message each other.
So you have a beer brewing and you guys are kind of like, what should we name that
let's
beast?
name this.
Yeah.
And yeah, it all really depends on
really
who comes
like
up
that
with the
one.
best name first, I guess.
Fantastic. The vanilla,
Good.
Zelda's Vanilla. It's very good. How many of these that we're drinking are going to be going away after I mean, you switch them all out? Are they all rotating?
Yeah, so this one, the Zelda, we have year-round.
Okay.
It's one of our best-selling beers.
I would say that's,
It mixes incredibly well with everything. So, like, after you drink half the raspberry, I'm actually going to have you dump it into the vanilla.
Oh, okay.
Because it's really good.
Okay,
Those two
cool.
mixed up, it's really good with the brown. If you mix the Zelda vanilla and the brown ale, it's we call it a Velvet Elvis.
Okay.
And it's a really popular beer. I drink it probably more than anything here. It's super easy to drink and awesome.
I'm excited to keep going here and trying this then. And that actually, the raspberry is actually the next one, which is a gluten-free beer, right?
Yep.
The last episode that I did, by the way, this is the 6th episode now.
Cool.
Which is cool, because when I started, I was like, I don't know if we're going to go.
Yeah, because you've done a couple breweries, right? And you've done couple...
You're the second
You've done
brewery.
a coffee one, right? And you've done 2 musicians?
I've done, that's exactly
Is that right?
Yep,
Okay.
you got it. You nailed it. So obviously you've been paying attention. I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
I listened to a couple. I think I listened to all of them. I don't remember.
Great. Well, obviously you know them. You at least know them.
Yeah.
So that's better than I would expect. So
Yeah,
that's
awesome.
cool. Thank you. But yeah, you're the second on location brewery that I've done, and I don't know how to get in touch with anyone else at this point. So I'm hoping that maybe you guys that I've talked to can help me out. I'm sure there's a network out there.
Oh, there totally is. Yeah.
And I hope it can keep going. It's just a lot of fun for me. So, and okay, let's get to the cranberry. Oh, what I was going to say, I'm sorry, is that the last episode, the musician I was interviewing could only drink gluten-free beer.
Yeah.
So he was drinking it, and I was saying that I don't think I've ever tried gluten-free beer before.
Okay.
And I was just curious if I would notice a difference. So that's why I'm really excited to try this one. So we'll see.
Yeah, definitely. We kind of described this one as more of a mix between a wine and a cider. Because it doesn't have that big, full-bodied mouthfeel that beers do.
Yeah, it's totally wine.
Yeah, it's way lighter. We age it on oak chips for just a few days, and then put a whole, I think, a 5-gallon bag of raspberry puree from Oregon fruit in it as well.
Can you just describe briefly the process of aging on wood chips? What's that look like? How's that work?
Yeah, so we get, oh man, I don't remember what country the oak chips are from that we use. Because there's, surprisingly enough,
So
the
they're imported.
terroir matters when it comes to oak chips. If you're getting them from America, it's going to taste different than if you're getting them from, like, literally any other country. So you kind of have to do a lot of research, which I haven't personally done, but the owner, Josh, has been perfecting this gluten-free beer because his wife has celiac, and it's always on tap so she can drink it. So she has something to drink while she's here, which is awesome, and a lot of people stray away from it. But anyway, so we essentially, for the oak, once it's pretty close to being at a final gravity that we want it to be at, we put 2 pounds of oak chips or cubes in, a mesh hop bag.
Yeah.
And stick it in the fermenter.
I see. So it goes inside the...
Yeah,
inside the
yeah. We stick it
fermenter.
in there and like tie it to the top and kind of let it hang, so it's like kind of halfway, hanging halfway through
Yeah.
the liquid, and not touching the yeast or anything. And then we try to time it out to where we're crashing it within a couple days, and
I see.
then we add the raspberry when it's ready to cold crash. We add the raspberry, and then we let it re-ferment for 8 to 12 hours to
Okay.
kind of so that way it really gets that raspberry flavor in there and kind of eats some more of the sugars, so it's not super sweet. Because if we crashed it before adding the raspberry, it'd be really sweet. But letting it re-ferment for a little bit kind of lets
Yeah.
it eat some of
Eat
those
some of
sugars
that-
out. So.
Yeah, that makes sense. So the wood chips.
Mm-hmm.
You said in this particular case. I'm sorry if I missed what you said. They were imported, or these were the American wood chips.
I believe these were the American ones.
Okay.
And I
Cool.
don't remember what the other ones we've used are, but I think it's the American ones that have a stronger oaky flavor.
Okay.
So you're getting kind of like a little bit of that whiskey, tobacco,
Yeah.
vanilla flavor
Whiskey, exactly.
in there.
It kind of reminded me of some of that beer that's like aged in like a whiskey barrel,
Yeah.
a bourbon barrel or whatever.
Yeah, and
So-
it's just really a different way to kind of do that. Like, you could take oak chips and soak them in whiskey for a while and then add those oak chips to your fermenter, as opposed to trying to keep track of a barrel and make sure you're
Yeah.
doing it right and keeping it clean and all that. We did barrel stuff for a while, but it's kind of, it takes up a lot of space.
You got to get the barrels,
and
right? And
You got to get the barrels, and
see, all this makes me feel excited for the homebrew thing, because I'm like, okay, yeah, I could get some chips maybe.
yeah, for
How
sure.
could I make a beer that tastes like it's in a barrel? Maybe I could get the wood chips.
Yep.
Didn't know that till just this moment. So,
Definitely, yeah, and if you want extra whiskey flavor, definitely just soak those chips in whiskey for a few days.
that's a great idea.
Um,
yeah.
Yeah, and throw them in there. You could also soak them in whiskey and taste the whiskey. If the whiskey tastes good, then just dump the whiskey in, and
Yeah.
don't put the oak chips in.
The whiskey and the beer.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, cool. I actually tried. There's a Budweiser out right now that's Jim Beam
Really?
infused or whatever. I'm not a big Bud. It's domestic beer, but I had to try it, and actually wasn't that bad.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's like regular Budweiser?
Yeah, it's like Budweiser.
With Jim Beam.
That's aged in Jim Beam barrels.
Weird.
Yeah.
Okay, I've never imagined like an American lager aged in whiskey barrels.
Yeah. Give it a try. And
Interesting.
If you
All
watch,
right.
if you watch like cable television, which I do,
Yeah.
there's ads for it all the time, and I don't know if it's going to be a seasonal thing for them or not, but I couldn't resist.
Okay.
I had to try it.
Yeah,
and
why
it was
not?
actually not bad.
Okay.
But I don't know if
Yeah.
I'd get it again, but that's just me.
Right.
I'd rather.
Worth trying once.
It's worth
at least.
trying once,
Okay.
yeah. So okay, that's 4 beers. Let's get on to number 5, and that's Scotch. What is it?
Scotchlander.
Okay, Scotchlander.
Oh wait.
Sorry, I just can't
Name,
read.
Again,
That's the
Satine
yes.
is the only one not named after a horror sci-fi movie. It's actually named after the red-haired lady in Moulin Rouge.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. So
Satine, yeah.
That's where that one comes
I'm sure my wife would know that one. Where I don't know if it's been a long. That movie's pretty old, right? Moulin Rouge.
yeah, kind of. I
Just don't think I
remember,
can remember
when
that.
I was like a teenager or something, or maybe younger, walking out of the theater because I thought it sucked.
Yeah.
But now, like, I've rewatched it in the last few years, and it's a pretty good movie.
That'd be something to revisit for me as well,
Yeah.
probably. So, especially now.
All right, Scotchlander, which is named after Highlander. I mean, some people prefer Outlander, so whatever you want,
Right.
I guess.
Right.
I've personally never seen either. Don't tell anyone.
I don't think I have either. I'm not a huge movie person, so.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
So when it comes to some of the, obviously Friday the 13th, I've seen that, and
Oh,
Evil
yeah.
Dead, I've seen those movies. But when it comes to like actual character, you dig into these characters, I'm just kind of
Yeah.
saying, I don't really know, but
Cool. Yeah. No, there's some I don't know either. But like this one. So it's a Scottish ale, and Scottish ales are usually really malty, kind of creamy. a lot like Irish ales. They're, originally meant to be served in a cask at like room temp, but it's one of those things that's also kind of a pain in the butt. We have a cask. We don't use it very much, but it is fun to play with sometimes. But yeah, this one we do every fall-ish into winter. Once it starts getting colder, give people a nice heavier beer.
I'm feeling the warm up.
Oh yeah,
warm me up a little bit already. Kind of reminds me of a stout.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. We use lots of. There's quite a bit of caramel malts in there for a little sweetness.
Why.
Yeah, to kind of counteract the booziness to it. This is one of the only ones we use liquid yeast.
Oh, really?
With most of them we use dry yeast.
Mm-hmm.
But this one, we always do a starter with liquid yeast because it's such way higher ABV than most of our beers are. This one actually ended up being 8.5, I believe. But yeah, it's really tasty. It is
really good.
Something I wish I could drink more than one glass of at a time, but I can't.
You probably sit down here and you have a pint of it, and it's probably like you got to take a break for a little while.
Definitely don't recommend drinking 2 of them in a row, especially if you have to drive.
Yeah, right. If you're on your bike, well, not even that. If you're walking.
Maybe you should just walk.
Probably just walk.
I'd crash my bike.
Yeah, I would too. I made this coffee stout at home that I was really proud of, and that's kind of. I just don't think I've ever had stouts really before until I made one and kind of saw what went into it.
Okay.
So that's why I kind of it resembles that to me a little bit. So
yeah, I get that.
And so when you talk about the malts and everything, I think that's what I'm tasting.
For sure.
So that's my professional view.
Yeah, no, that's great. I don't remember the grain bill exactly, but I know it has a lot of different stuff in it because I remember, having to measure everything out and mill it, and it's also, one of our heaviest grain bills. The higher ABV, the more grain you're going to use.
Exactly. It's because of more sugars, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
More stuff for the yeast to react with, and in the end result with more alcohol.
That's right.
So, cool. So we went through the flight. There was another thing you wanted me to do, right?
Yeah. So
vanilla.
Drink a tiny bit more of both those, the vanilla and the raspberry.
Challenge accepted.
Like half. And then dump one in the other.
Oh my gosh, this one's so good.
I have napkins in case you need.
I love the Zelda's vanilla. It's awesome.
It's pretty tasty. Some people don't like it because it's kind of too sweet. It doesn't really taste like beer.
Tastes like cream soda, just like you said.
Yeah, it's like straight vanilla.
By the way, what's more fun than coming in here on like a Monday and talking about beer and drinking beer?
Drinking and talking about beer while no one else is around.
Right, it's awesome.
It is pretty fun.
I feel lucky today. This is awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
So we want to mix these together.
All right, yeah. Now, just dump one in the other.
Okay.
Then you get like I don't know what you would call it, raspberry pie with whipped cream on top, maybe.
Wow, totally.
Yeah?
I taste the whipped cream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, pretty good. This mixture we call Leonard Nimoy.
Okay.
Or Spock.
Okay.
Leonard Nimoy is the original actor that played Spock. So.
Okay.
I don't know who named it. I think the mixture ones, some random customers named them. So we just kind of went with it.
So you guys sell it this way. If someone orders at the bar, they'll ask for Spock, and they know what that. Yeah.
Yep. And it takes a while. When I first started, it took me a while to remember what they were asking for.
Yeah.
And they'd always have to tell me what they wanted.
Yeah.
There's some very few people that order a Freddy Krueger, which is the sweet brown with raspberry.
The sweet. Oh, we didn't try that one.
But I don't.
It's this raspberry.
What?
Is it this raspberry?
Yeah.
And it's the sweet brown, which
with
we do not
have
have on the flight today. So cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to come back out here again and try these. So
Definitely.
I actually don't know why I don't. Is the problem. I think about it, I'm like, why don't I go do something once in a while? You know?
Why don't I leave the house?
It's like the home brewing thing kind of like made me like content enough to just like try beer at home.
Yeah,
you know?
no, I think a lot of people do that. They're like, why do I need to go out? I make beer at home.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's pretty fun.
Like, this is the first. Well, Colony was the first brewery that we went to when we moved here, but it also has like the kitchen, which you guys don't have the kitchen, but you have the next door. Is it the
Right, yeah, Hogjaw, which we have a kiosk over there. You can come in
Right.
when they're open and we're open. So they're not open on Sundays. So that's the only day that we're open and they're not. But
I was just going to ask you about Sundays, like NFL
Yeah.
days would be a good day to
yeah,
come
I
in.
wish
You're
they
open
were
Sundays, right?
Sunday.
Noon
We're
to 5?
open Sunday. I
Yeah.
wish they were open next door Sunday, but they're not. But you know, you can bring in anything you want. What's it? Cluster Truck delivers here. Minsky's, Caddyshack Pizza.
Cluster truck.
Yeah. Have you had Cluster Truck?
No, I haven't. I just love
So
the name. It's funny.
Yeah, it is funny. They're kind of like a food truck concept, but they have a brick and mortar building where they cook.
Okay.
And then it's essentially they have Uber drivers come pick up the food and deliver it. And it's really good.
Part of that Uber Eats deal, huh?
Pretty much,
They,
yeah, except they don't charge any delivery fees. So it's a lot cheaper than Uber Eats.
That's
is
awesome.
If you're like in the delivery area, you know.
That's awesome. Yeah. I'll have to come out here, definitely. And I actually, if anyone's listening who hasn't been to Big Rip, it's definitely a badass brewery. I love the room where you can see the tanks and stuff. You know,
Yeah.
not a lot of times you can. I mean, a lot of breweries that you go to, you can't see the tanks. That's one of
Right.
my favorite things. That's how I choose a brewery to go to, because I like to feel like I'm tasting what's being.
Oh, for sure,
produced.
yeah.
It's
And
awesome.
there's a couple new ones out east. If you haven't been there, like New Axiom.
Is that Blue Springs? Or is
Oh man, I'm trying to remember. I think
Lee
New
Summit.
Axiom's Lee Summit.
Lee Summit? Okay.
And their tanks are like right there, like literally right across the bar. So you can almost touch them.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And then Apex just opened in Independence, and they've got a bigger window than this, but there's no glass there. So it's
just open?
Open like window with a countertop to set your beers. So you know if Tony the brewer is in there brewing while you're in there, you can talk to him and stuff. You know, it's pretty cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've actually been communicating with the guys at Apex this entire process of the podcast.
Yeah.
And because I go there all the time, that's where I get my supply.
I love their beers. I went.
Is it?
I went.
Yeah.
One of their soft openings. I went, and that is one of the few places where that was amazing right off the bat. You know, their stuff is really good.
I can't wait to go. I haven't been yet.
Yeah.
I just got back to town yesterday, so.
Yeah, hopefully they still have the oyster stout when you go, because that beer is amazing.
Is that was on tap the day they opened? I remember
Yes.
talking about that. I'm gonna have to go tomorrow.
Do
I
it.
think that's
I think
probably
you're gonna have
important. Yeah. Okay. Or tonight. Well, I don't know what their hours are. So
I know. I'm pretty sure they're open today. I just don't know how late.
I think tomorrow's the day.
Yes.
I've been really, really excited for them to open for a long time, and it just kept like they just couldn't get stuff
Yeah.
squared away, and I was
It
like,
happens,
oh, God
yeah.
dang it. Okay, yeah, I'll come back. You know, I'd go down
Yeah.
there, and now I saw that they opened when I was out of town, of course.
Right.
You know, but now I'm back, and I'm super excited to go, and I hope that I can
Oh,
do a podcast with them and talk to them.
Oh, I'm
So,
sure Tony loves talking about beer and helping people make beer. Like he's definitely an incredible resource, like for you as a home brewer. Like
Yeah.
he loves helping people and talking about beer. So
Well, I can tell you, like, my history as, like, kind of an audio nerd, and then also I would drink beer from different breweries, but then, like, now I'm like, okay, I'm going to take my creativity and maybe go into brewing, because it's kind of the same concept, really.
yeah,
And then we moved to Independence, and there was a homebrew store, like, right down the road, and
Yeah.
I went there, and those guys have been absolutely amazing every time I go.
yeah, they're
'Cause
really great guys.
When I first went, you know, there was I didn't really know what I was doing at all, and they would really kind of point me in the direction to go. So, yeah, anyway.
Awesome.
I talk about them in every episode. If you've listened to them, you're going to be
Yeah,
talking
no,
about
I remember like the first one talking about like you had to leave, and like because you like started recording the podcast and then you paused it for a while, and then like several hours later you started again. You're like, I just went to a homebrew store.
I was doing something. Awesome. I was bottling, I think, and I was waiting on like the sugar, you know, the corn sugar and the water to boil so I could bottle, which I'm still bottling, which I can't wait to be done with that.
Yeah.
But anyway, I can't. I had bottles that just wouldn't cap, and I was completely out, so I had to go back in the middle of bottling over there, and they had everything I needed. So anyway, homemade root beer. We talked about that.
Yeah, it's easy.
You guys have that here?
Stuff. Yep.
You guys mix it with a vodka, right?
Oh, yeah. It's really good with the vanilla vodka.
Yeah, I bet.
I'm sure people get pretty toasty off it because it's so easy to drink.
Yeah, I bet so. I would love to try that. I have so many questions for you, and I feel like we've covered a lot of them already anyway. But one thing I want to ask about for sure before we conclude is what kind, like the events that you guys hold here. You have a lot of community involvement, right?
Yeah,
like
we try. We're trying to do a lot more stuff lately. Like we do some kind of community pop-up events where we'll have a bunch of local vendors sign up to come in and set up in the back in our event space and sell stuff. Like there's, candles. People who make candles and sell candles, and we have Warrior Massage who's down the street. She'll come in and do like free shoulder massages and get people signed up to come in, and they're awesome because I did a massage there for my birthday, and it's perfect. And then we did one night where we had one of the local ladies that does Damsel in Defense come in, and so they're a company that sells like mace and tasers and like self-defense weapons like designed for women, and they teach self-defense classes to women.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
And then other stuff, we have game night every Thursday night now. So you come in, you get a punch card, and so every Thursday that you come in and play a game with someone, you get a stamp, and then after 8 stamps, you get $10 off, or essentially two free beers.
Wow, that's cool. So you got like a stack of board games or something that you
we have a crap ton over there that were all donated.
I didn't notice that. There is a lot there.
There's a lot of board games. You can bring your own board game on a Thursday if you want.
I want to touch that camera. I really want to turn the camera around so we can see it, but
right?
I'll take a picture of it and post it on the
Oh, yeah,
on the episode.
totally.
But there are a bunch of games over there. Thursday nights, game night.
Thursday night, game night.
You don't do the MASH meeting anymore?
We don't because ATCs, so alcohol, tobacco control, kind of has started cracking down on the laws in Missouri. So the law is that you cannot drink homebrew in an establishment that has their own liquor license. So now the meetings are at iWorks, which is like 15th and Clay or 15th and Burlington.
What is iWorks?
It's like 9 blocks from here. It's just a community event space.
Oh, okay.
So they've got
there.
rooms and everything you can rent out. So once a month, we rent out a room and have the meetings. I need to come again over there.
That's kind of like the spark that started all of this for me.
Yeah.
I had no idea. I told my wife before we moved, because we were kind of like looking for a place to live and or to buy. With space to do stuff. And I was like, I really want to try home brewing, and so I did. And then came to the meeting, and I was blown away by how many people do it. For one thing.
Oh yeah.
It was completely packed in there, and I was like, wow, this is the homebrew thing is a real big deal.
Yeah. There's a club up here. There's a club out east, like Lee Summit, Blue Springs, Independence area. There's the Beermeisters, like south of downtown. There's Lawrence. There's Johnson County. There's like 6 homebrew clubs right around here, and they all have a lot of members. So
I just Missouri Masters and ZZ Hops is the one that I've heard of, and I've joined both of them on Facebook.
Cool. Yeah.
And just post all the time, and people are always selling like equipment and stuff like that, different like kegs and kegerators and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a I'm glad I joined this community of brewing.
Yes, yeah, they're awesome. Like, we just had one of our members who's a firefighter just got diagnosed with stage 4 esophageal cancer due to being a firefighter. Because all that
breathing
smoke,
all the smoke
and everything.
Yeah.
And so we've been chatting for a while about how to raise money for him, and they've already got several events lined up. He just announced this a few days ago, and we've already got several events lined up to raise money for him and his family and everything.
That's amazing.
And there's another member who was also diagnosed with a different kind of cancer, and we're doing the same thing for him. We're just always it's a great community. We're all here for each other.
Yeah, and I notice all you guys, all the head brewers of these micro brews, are always communicating with each other as well online, and I think that's really awesome.
Yeah.
Why do you think that beer brewing is such a powerful? Because it brings everyone together, but why do you think that people are so attracted to the community of it?
I think it's just I don't know, it's one of those things that you get together for a brew day, or you get together to drink beer, and it doesn't really matter what you think about anything else, like politics, religion,
right? Exactly.
All the stuff that people never agree on. We all like beer. We all love drinking beer. We all love making beer. We all love talking about beer. And it's just such a cool, fun thing to just
take
get
your mind
together
off of everything
and talk about. And it's just such a shared interest with everyone in this community.
For me, it's because I've always been involved in music and music communities and stuff like that. It's exactly the same, but it's you're creating something, and you have something else to talk about in your mutual interest, and
for sure,
and you can just escape the world.
And I recently did a kind of a via email interview with someone who posted an article during the GABF, and it was essentially about diversity and the LGBT community in the beer industry. And it's one of the big things for me is I can go to any brewery, pretty much any brewery, and feel okay and welcomed, and no one's gonna judge me and my girlfriend for being there together.
Everyone's always in a good mood, right?
Yeah, whereas
always.
it's not that way at every bar you go to or restaurant you go to. But in the beer community, it doesn't matter where you go. You can go to any craft brewery or tap room, and we feel okay being there.
Yeah,
it's really a welcoming community. No one cares who you are, what you look like, anything, what you believe in. We all love beer.
Exactly. It's a delicious way to share. It's a delicious drink to share with everyone.
Yes.
And it's fun getting there, getting to that final product.
Yeah.
Which is the same as music.
True.
Recording music, it's the same. So,
yeah.
Not to talk about music with this, but it kind of ties in with KC Tunes and Brews.
I mean, I
it's
love
the
music.
Two things that I love the most. It's just,
if my favorite local band is Emmeline Twist. If you haven't heard of them, they're kind of what do they describe themselves out post goth kind of.
Okay.
But it's really mellow, cool music that you can just kind of chill out to.
I would love to check that out.
They're pretty great.
You'll have to.
I'll shoot you a link over.
Spotify or something.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Man, we're probably to the end almost, I would think.
All right.
But I guess what I usually do is I ask about you in the beginning. I haven't even done that really. I want to talk a little bit about your history as a brewer.
Oh, okay.
Kind of where you started with brewing? Did you
For sure.
home brew? How you got to this point? I mean, you work here every day, right?
I'm here most days.
Yeah.
I try not to be, but it's kind of easy to be here every day when it doesn't really feel like you're working.
That's what I mean.
It's
got to be
kinda
just
like-
awesome.
It's just like, oh, I'm here and it's fine. Like even if I'm cleaning kegs or like today, I got here around 11 and I've literally been cleaning
Yeah.
since then.
Sounds horrible.
So
but
for like 6 hours, I
Yeah.
was cleaning, and it sounds horrible, but
you're cleaning a brewery.
I mean, yeah, I'm cleaning a brewery, and I just put my headphones in and listen to whatever I want.
Yeah.
And
Zone out.
yeah.
You don't have a boss, right?
I mean, I do.
I mean, you have a boss, but what I mean is like you're in the
Yeah.
today cleaning. You're just cleaning the brewery.
Yeah, and I mean, they trust me to know that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
I know what needs to
Because
be
you
done.
wanna be
and-
here.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
want to be here. I try to do what's best for the brewery and everything. But yeah, I did homebrew for a while. I've been homebrewing a little bit since I started brewing here.
What was a while, and when was it? How long ago?
Ooh, so I started homebrewing maybe a year before I started here. So about
Okay.
like 3 years ago, I started homebrewing. My brother and my dad. Like my brother had been homebrewing for a year already, and my dad had started a little bit after my brother did. So the first several batches I did, my brother taught me and my dad
Yeah.
taught me, and they were there helping me and
So it's a family thing.
doing
too. That's
recipes
awesome.
with me. Yeah, and then I slowly started doing my own recipes, and I eventually got my own equipment because at first I was just going over to my dad's or my brother's and using theirs.
Were they kegging and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
so
awesome.
neither of them really bottled much. They bottle mostly just for competitions now. My dad will bottle when he runs out of kegs and wants to brew more.
Mhm.
He'll just bottle a keg and then make another one.
Yeah. I love that it was a family thing. For
Oh
you
yeah,
guys.
totally. Like we all got into craft beer a few years before my brother started brewing. So we would get together on holidays and birthdays and just each bring like 6 packs of random
Stuff
craft beers. and
okay.
Start sharing craft beer, and then we're like, oh, someone needs to start making beer. So my brother took a jump for it first, and then my dad, and then me, and now my little brother who lives in Denver,
Oh yeah.
he brews now
Really?
at home too. So
That's awesome. Denver, Colorado. That's where we moved out here from. That's a big.
Yeah.
That's a big brew state for sure.
yeah, he loves it out there. He got a job out there right after college, so he moved out there.
Cool.
My parents are both from out there.
Really?
I've spent a couple months every summer growing up going out there.
Wow.
I've been to more Rockies games than Royals games
really?
in my
Okay.
life.
That's awesome.
So-
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
It was hard to go for the Royals when we first moved here.
Yeah.
In the Broncos, we went to Chiefs Broncos it was the night before Halloween, Monday Night Football
Oh,
last
yeah.
year, and it was freezing cold.
Yep.
And it was just hard to go for the Chiefs, but I love the Chiefs too, though. Now, especially living here.
Yeah.
But that's cool that you have a lot of ties to Colorado. That's the same for me.
Yeah.
So
No, it's great.
yeah. So, homebrew, and then 2 years, and then now you're here.
Yeah, and then I right before I started here, I had joined the Missouri Mashers, where I met the old assistant brewer here, and then I actually took over his Sunday shift here, so he could be assistant brewer. So it's all kind of like definitely like the Mashers and my brother and my dad and homebrew.
That's
I definitely
awesome.
wouldn't be here without that. And
Yeah, that sounds great. I love
a lot of people ask me like, oh, well, what about so-and-so who's been homebrewing for a dozen years? I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, yeah, I'm probably not as good as a lot of homebrewers out there, but I also had been working every Sunday behind the bar and doing events and volunteering for free to pour
Yeah.
at beer fests and do all this stuff for the brewery. And a lot of people just, they don't have time or they don't want to
Yeah.
like take that step and do like,
It's like anything else.
The
You gotta
crappy
be
work
you gotta be
beforehand.
so dedicated to it to get there.
Yeah.
So, Well, I'm proud of you for that.
Oh, thank you.
Awesome. This is a great place.
Oh yeah, it's
So
awesome. I
how
love this
many
place.
brewers do you have working with you here?
I'm pretty much the only one. Occasionally Josh will brew, but he didn't want to really brew much anymore. He wants to focus more on the business side and getting people in here. And
You need that.
He's here almost every Thursday making chai for Hugo Tea, because we brew chai with them every week.
Really?
Yeah, so they're like chai concentrate that they sell at the roastery and other coffee shops around. We make the chai here with them every week.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I've heard of them too from the, back in episode 2, my buddy Jake at the coffee shop, he sells their tea. So that's where I heard of it.
Yep.
So that's cool.
Yeah, it's awesome. And
I like how it's just like starting to turn into this big network of,
Yeah.
we work with them and we work with them. It's like,
it totally is. And they're great people. We do a chai beer with their chai every year.
I actually tried that here, I think.
Oh, cool.
At the Masher meeting.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
It's the first beer I had here, I believe. It was excellent.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll do it again. We usually premiere it on Christmas Eve with a slew of other bottles. We open for a few hours early Christmas Eve morning and usually sell out of most of our bottles that morning.
Really?
But it's really fun just to do a bunch of random stuff.
Yeah.
I think we're going to go for like our usual like cherry cheesecake and oatmeal raisin cookie this year, and then add on a couple other cheesecake inspired beers to go with it. And
I like all those different ideas that you already have, you know.
yeah,
You know what's coming
I've got loads of ideas in my brain.
Yeah.
But
I'm excited. I think maybe we'll make our way out here around
Definitely.
Christmas time.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll see you at a Masters meeting again soon. I've just been so busy. I mean, speaking of busy things.
I actually, I want to say it was almost a year ago, maybe in January. So every year or so we do the Iron Brewer for Missouri Mashers, where it starts with several teams. And then after the first round, like half the teams get knocked out. And then after the next round, you knock out everyone but 2 teams. And then this year we did the winning team, which was myself and Brian Jones, which, I started this Iron
Is that
Brewer
Brian
comp.
Casey Jones?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I have him on Facebook now, too.
Cool. Yeah, he's awesome. We started this Iron Brewer thing, before I became head brewer here. So it's kind of weird now because I'm getting paid to make beer and I'm competing against people that don't. And it's kind of weird, but
kind of makes
it's
you
also
feel
different because it's way different brewing on a big system than it is homebrew.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, next Saturday, the 3rd, we're getting together at Grain and Glass at 11 a.m. for Learn to Homebrew Day.
Oh, cool.
So me and Brian are up against each other now
awesome.
for the final round of Iron Brewer. And we don't know what we're going to make. We're essentially showing up with all our homebrew equipment.
You're going to make it on the spot.
Yeah, and they're
Cool.
going to give us, I don't know, a box of grains or something. And be like,
Say,
here's
make a
your
beer.
grains, make a beer, or make this whatever style beer. And then I guess randomly throughout the brew, they're just going to give us stuff we have to put in it. So,
That's awesome. So how long do you have until it's drinkable then? Or when do they taste it? Or?
About a month. We're going to judge those at our Christmas party. So the Mashers have a Christmas party every year. I don't know the date for it yet. It's probably, if it goes along with our normal meetings, and it's probably the second Thursday in December at iWorks.
Okay,
when
cool.
we'll have our Christmas party. So
I want to try to get back in touch with that stuff. I totally feel like I just fell off the loop with the Masters meetings.
And I mean, if anyone, if you want to come out, if you're free next Saturday at Grain and Glass, it's a public event.
11 a.m.
At 11 a.m.
Okay.
We'll all be there. I think my dad might be there.
For
set
the
up
record,
with his gear.
What is the actual date? Because this
3rd.
episode will air a couple days later from now.
Okay.
The 3rd of November.
The 3rd of November,
11 a.m. Okay.
11 a.m. at Grain and Glass.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Man, this has been such a good time. I could talk to you about this all night long.
For sure, yeah.
We're going to have to probably stop, and I feel like I've outstayed my welcome, but I really do appreciate you letting me come in here on a day you're closed and cleaning and and
Oh, yeah,
letting
no
me
problem.
kind of talk your ear off about beer and,
Yeah,
and
it's pretty
what it's all
fun.
about for you here at Big Rip. So
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
let's so bigrip.com is the website for you guys.
BigRipBrewing.com.
Okay. And then obviously Facebook, Instagram,
Facebook, Instagram, Twitter.
Yeah.
I think that's it. Are those all of them?
What else? What else is there? There's
I
like
don't know.
Reddit stuff. I don't
Reddit?
know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
How-
I have like
I don't
social
know anything
media.
about Reddit, so
I have friends that are like 10 years younger than me who are like telling me about these things I've never heard of. They're like, you got to get on this website.
there's too many.
Like,
I
I
can't
don't-
keep track.
I have to post
I
every.
have to have a life as well.
Yeah. Like it takes so much work to even get these episodes done, and then it's like, okay, now I got to post the 15
Right.
things. You know, I mean, it's worth it, but
Yeah.
it is kind of annoying.
Oh, for sure.
But okay, Bri Burrows at
Yep.
Big Rip.
Yep.
It's
That's
been
me.
fantastic. Thank you for the beer, and
Of course.
we'll see you again for
Yes, definitely. See you soon.
sure. Yeah. All right. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.